Hey, what's up again, everyone? This is Arn. Just thought I'd give you a little update here on the 2019 Anti Curbside build off. Uh, I'm participating in a Facebook group. You may or may have not seen the first video I have made, but this is the second installment. I would have liked to have done more in between the two, but just time and being able to find a quiet place, it hasn't been that easy lately. So I'm here at my office and I'm here to show you how far I've gotten and what I'm planning on doing. So let's get to the body on here. I'm running a Rocket Bunny tail spoiler. It's going to be a pretty basic body. I don't want to go too flamboyant, do the full body Rocket Bunny body kit, and I might do some scratch built side skirts and a front splitter, but I don't know. I may not. So, as far as the part, I'll try to give out some information on parts and stuff. If you guys are interested in this and you are looking for it, send me a message, comment. I can try to help you out. Try to track some of this stuff down. So getting to the spoiler, it is a resin spoiler made by this company named Factory 81. You can find them on Facebook or on, just Google search it. They do a lot of really nice resin parts, trans kits, wheels, all kinds of great stuff for 1/24 scale modeling. They also do some 1/18 scale stuff. They're really good. It does take a couple weeks to get it from Hong Kong to the States, but they always show up and they've always made things right if something didn't happen or something got broken in shipping. So it's a really cool little spoiler. Keep the body simple. I did have to come over here and I couldn't get the hood to sit straight or flat with the turbos. So I'm going to do a little vented hood, obviously. And here's a little notch out for the front turbo. I don't know if I'm going to notch out for the second turbo. It's not really a clearance issue. So I might just leave it as is because it's quite a bit of work to put these ventilated hood louvers. I'm going to have to build all that with what's it got here? Strips or styrene. So you get these plastic styrene sheets and you cut out whatever you want. So I'm gonna have to do that, and I'll try to do a video on that because it's pretty involved and it's gonna take some time. So that's it for the body. Keep everything pretty stock, I guess, if you call it stock being this low. The wheels, I guess I should mention the wheels. The wheels are a hobby design. They're, according to scale, it would be an 18-inch wheel. I don't like to go bigger than 18-inch wheels because it's really hard to get your ground clearance. And I like to make them really low, so 18s with these stretch tires, you get a really nice stance. Hobby design, they also do a lot of resin products. These are resin wheels. It takes a little bit of prep to get them to look smooth and flawless because there is little imperfections. I'd consider hobby design probably a notch above Factory 81 just for that reason. The amount you have to do some cleanup with both. You're gonna have to sand and trim and cut, but I mean, you get cool parts out of the deal. To me, it doesn't. A mass production company doesn't do wheels like this. Ashima, they finally started doing cool stretch tired wheels and whatnot. They've kind of kept up with the times, the trends. So anyway, hobby design, You can also look them up on Facebook. You're going to be able to find these more on hobby sites and eBay if you want. Message me, comment, and I can point you in the right direction. Again, I'm not sponsored by these people. I don't get anything for free, but they make some great stuff, and if you're interested, I can definitely point you in the direction to get what you need. To continue on the resin model parts, I found this 2JZ resin engine in my pile of stash parts that I've accumulated over the years. This is also a Factory 81. This is really cool that I found this because the intake to the manifolds, and they already basically built, I had to assemble this, but they already built the manifolds and the turbos and the blow-off valves, and I had to modify it a little bit to get the fit in there. I did scratch build the exhaust pipes that are coming off the turbos. That was not included. It was just the manifolds and the turbos and the blow-off valves. So this is pretty cool that I found that, because to scratch build something like this is very difficult, because you can see all the complex bends, and there is people that can do it. There are some really great modelers out there that can build manifolds from scratch. I'm just not that good, so it takes me a while, and I just want to actually finish this build off and get motivated again to do some building. So anyway, this was in the Factory 81 2JZ engine kit that I found. Awesome stuff. I'll show you more about the scratch building here in a second. But just to finish up with the body, I got the stance right. I got it pretty dang low. I think that's pretty good, low enough for me. I was shaking the table earlier, so hopefully I don't do that in this attempt at a video. Had to modify the engine bay quite a bit to get this engine to fit in there. Had to trim stuff out, and let me turn this heater off. It keeps kicking on. Sorry about that. But in that case, it was kind of cool because it just gave me the idea to do a bumper bar. There's these two white, bars in there. I had another piece pop off before I tried to do this, but you get the idea. Here's one of the supports. The other one popped off. I have to glue it back on. Less busy so you can see what I'm trying to show you a little better. But as you can see, the intercooler goes right here. And there. And the bumper bar kind of blocks the top half of it. I mean, it's for demonstration purposes. That's essentially what it's going to look like. And then when you put the bumper on, it is going to show out the bottom of the bumper a little bit. But I think it's going to be kind of cool because I don't know if I'm going to paint it black or body color, but it'll be visible through the front bumper. So that's the bumper bar. That's going to protect the intercooler. Scratch built the piping for the intercooler. Got to sand everything down. I use shrink wrap for wiring for the couplers. The coupler is for the piping. It's pretty convincing. And then I'll take some what do you call it? That aluminum tape, ventilation tape, and you can put that around the coupler shrink wrap, and it looks like the ties or the pipe clamps. They do have aftermarket pipe clamps that you can wrap around, and it's got the little screw, but they're very difficult to put on. I have some, I just haven't used them yet. But anyway, there's that. That's the body essentially. Sits pretty low. So anyway, started doing a little bit of interior. I'm gonna use some resin Recaros. I still gotta work on these, obviously. I'll show you a cool technique that looks like cloth, because anybody that knows the Recaros, the sides are the Alcantara, and the center's got like the material, this regular cloth material. I'll show you a cool technique. Julie Dixon's used it, and I kind of borrowed it, and it's really cool. It actually is a very realistic. I'll show you later. It's a medical tape technique. But anyways, I had to, on these resin, these are also resin. These are Hobby Design resin Recaros. They got the little quick releasing and push the seat forward when you get it out of the back seat, like in the real seats. Pretty cool. But I did have to put some styrene on the bottom to get them to sit up high enough, because they're too low without them. The stock seats are way, they sit up way higher. But for the interior, I'm not going to do anything too crazy, just do the Recaros. I'm building a roll cage for it out of the styrene. I'll do a tutorial on how I do it. There's some really amazing builders that are like next level scratch builders. I just kind of do what I need to get by, but it's actually really fun to scratch build. So I can see how it's addicting. And got another roof bar there. I'm trying to get it as tight as possible, because when you put the body on, I want it to be as tight as possible to the, the pillars, especially in the front. Do a 6-point cage. The back ones popped off while I was getting ready to do the video. So that'll be that. Nothing too crazy in there. Probably do some scratch built gauges. Nothing too crazy for that. Just gonna focus on the engine primarily. So that's pretty much it as far as. Oh, I'll tell you about the engine problem I ran into. So in this really cool kit with the turbos and everything, but unfortunately the bell housing is crooked. So I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. But so when I go to install this in the engine bay, tranny's straight, but then the engine won't sit straight. And it's all good now, but when I got all the turbos and piping and stuff, it's binding and it's not sitting in there straight. So I can fix it. I'm not sure if I want to, or if I just want to use the Tamiya engine that I had before. The only problem with that is, as you can see on this one, there's no manifolds. On this one, there's manifolds that I'll have to cut off. So, I don't know. I can cut those off, or I can put a cut and then straighten out that bell housing. I don't know yet. I'm not there yet, but we'll see. So I just thought I'd show you some of the tools I'm using to create some of this stuff. you can buy all kinds of stuff. This is basically what I use for everything, and it really works for me. I don't need a whole lot more. But like anything, the correct tools make everything easier on you. So first of all, I guess I'll go through the blades. Normally I like your standard X-Acto blade with the point, but I always go through them, and so that's all I got right now. I got a carpenter's knife, cutting stuff off the tree, or cutting this styrene. It's a lot easier with that big old blade. This is for smaller cutting, obviously, and scoring. I scored the hood to begin with. It's still awfully rough. I've got to fix it, obviously, but that's how I started. I scored with the back side of this, so use that for detail or small things. Got a little round file. This thing's pretty awesome. Getting your little nooks and crannies. File big things that sandpaper will take too long. I got a little square one. This one's square. Same thing, good little areas. Got your little tiny tweezers. Especially with my big old hands, these are pretty awesome. It's got the little tiny tips on there. This is what I've been using for the chroming. I got a couple, there's a bunch of sizes, but this one you can use for small details, Hot Wheels headlights, that kind of stuff. Here's what I've been using on like the bigger pipes. I'm gonna experiment, see if I can use a brush, but as you can see, it's pretty convincing chrome. I've seen guys spray it out of airbrushes and stuff. I'm just not sure what to clean it with. I haven't really experimented with it too much. That's pretty much, I got, I brought a little sanding stick. I got the Big Daddy file. If you need to put something level, then you can get a nice level, like with this roll cage. I'll probably at some point do a little angle. So big old file. That thing's been around a long time. I even use a ruler for the using the styrene and stuff. On my cutting mat, there's a ruler and there's a grid, that it really helps to like square all these kind of, if you're gonna scratch build, you can see if you're a square angle, because it's got that grid and it all like really works really well together. So eventually I need to get a little mobile one. Sometimes I get long breaks here and have time. Here's what I've been using for glue. This is really good for mocking up, and you can even do final assembly stuff with it. It's really thin, and it works really good. That's what I use for these roll cages, because it really bonds the styrene together. If you're gonna try to do painted parts, it's not gonna work. It bonds styrene, and if you do it right, you can kind of get like a welding effect. Like you can kind of see where it looks a little bit welded from the styrene melting, essentially. This is what I use for everything else. Parts that need to be extra strong. This little part here, this thing is awesome. Got these from a company called Zoom On. They're also a resin company. out of Hong Kong, Facebook, internet, whatnot. But they gave me a bunch of these little nozzles for this glue, and it's so easy to control the glue, because anybody knows that's tried to build a model, you get yourself in trouble by putting too much glue, and it screws everything up. So that's what I've been using for glue. For windows, for clear plastic, I use the Testors window glue. A lot of people use all kinds of like stuff, Elmer's glue, whatnot, but that's what I use. As far as the styrene for scratch building stuff, this is what I use. It's at the local hobby shop. All I have right now with me is like the rods. Some are hollow, some are really thin and small, like that. You can like do wiring and stuff with that. So that's kind of where I'm at, using what I'm using on this model. And that's where I'm at so far. As far as like lowering this model, there's really not much to show, because the kit already comes with everything designed to be low. So all this stuff is low, and it's already, I threw a little bit of extra camber on there by just not gluing it completely flat. I kind of kicked the hub a little bit out for negative camber. So there's nothing much really to show you with that. I can show you on some of the other models I built how I lowered them, and as you can see, I still have to do some tightening up to get them to roll. But anyway, we're still mocking up, and we got plenty of time for this little build off. Just want to show you where I'm at, what's going on, and I think it's going to turn out pretty sweet. Next update, hopefully do some body painting, or show you that hood. I gotta build the louvers on that hood. It's pretty intense to get that to work and not get yourself completely frustrated and pissed because it's not cooperating. So alright guys, thanks again for watching. If you have any comments at all, please leave them. I'm looking for feedback. I'm new to this. I got all kinds of different videos, all kinds of different subject matter, and I'm just waiting for feedback, so I know, I know what I like, but it's always good to have somebody else's opinion. But anyway, thanks a lot, everyone. Be back soon with another update. Arn Noriega, Colorado Toge. I'm out. Have a good day.